Often, when making a platform game, you need your character to move left and right, but at the same time, the character must face the direction that they are moving in. Luckily, in Unity, we can achieve this very easily. In this video, we'll cover 3 methods to achieve this. Let's get started. What I've already got here is a simple character with movement controls for moving, right, left, and jumping. Each movement has its own animation. Right now, our character always faces right. Our goal is to make the sprite face left when moving left, and vice versa. Let's begin by creating a script named player flip and attach it to our player component. Open the script and delete start method because we don't need it for now. We'll create a float variable called horizontal input. This will range from -1 to 1, indicating left or right movement. We also need a Boolean variable to check if our player is facing right. It's set to true by default since our sprite starts facing right. Back to our code. We'll use the input.getAxis function to get our horizontal movement. The first method to flip the sprite is by changing its scale. The first method will be named setUpDirectionByScale. Back to Unity, our scale is 1 in all axes. Flipping the x-axis from 1 to -1 inverts the sprite. To implement this, we check if horizontal input is less than 0, moving left, or greater than 0, moving right. Depending on the direction, we flip our facing flag and adjust the player's scale. We store the player's current scale in a vector3 variable, then multiply the x-axis by -1 to flip the sprite. Lastly, we need to set our object's local scale to be equal with our vector3 player scale variable. This change happens in the update method. Testing this, you'll see the sprite flipping correctly. However, this method can cause conflicts with other features like power-ups that change the player's size, which can be achieved with a smooth animation. But while the animation is running and increasing its scale, we also want to move our player, which also requires to change player's scale too, and eventually will lead into a conflict. To address this, let's explore another approach. The second method involves flipping the sprite using its sprite renderer component. We will name our function setUpDirectionByComponent. In the Unity editor, you'll find the flip option for the X and Y axes in the sprite renderer component of our player object. We want to flip the sprite along the X-axis. For this, we declare a serialized field for our sprite renderer component. We then set spriteRenderer.flipX to true if horizontal input is less than 0 and false otherwise. Don't forget to call our new function from the update method as before. Remember to attach the sprite renderer component to our script in Unity. Testing this, our sprite flips correctly without messing up the scale. However, both methods have a common issue. If the player shoots, the bullets always go right, regardless of the sprite's direction. To fix this, we'll use a third method, rotating the entire object. If the player faces left, we rotate the object left, so the shooting point also rotates. This fixes our bullet direction issue. To implement this, we'll create a new function called setup direction by rotation and use the same if statement as before, but apply rotation to the object instead of flipping the sprite. Don't forget to call our new function from the update method as before. And that's it. 3 methods to flip your character's sprite in Unity. Experiment with these methods and see which works best for your game. Happy coding, and don't forget to give the video a thumbs up.